What's up, guys? I'm Chad Barnes, and welcome to the channel. Here, it's all about real car talk, from simple fixes to smart driving tips and keeping your ride in top shape. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, and make sure you watch all the way through. There's a lot of good stuff coming. Let's get to it.
Before the war, the French army fleet was a motley mix of modern and obsolete vehicles. In the fall of 1939, the General Staff presented a 2-year rearmament program for the National Army, but it was too late. By June of the 40th, it was possible to produce 4 times less army vehicles than planned, and with the occupation of the northern industrial region, all automobile enterprises became subordinate to Nazi Germany. Occasional army passenger cars before the occupation, the French army had the most common and almost in no way prepared for military service scattered cars for the transportation of officers, staff service, and radio communication. Since the mid-30s, Citroën supplied the military with its best and well-known front-wheel drive cars 7CV and 11CV with a 1.9-litre gasoline engine. During the occupation, they bore the symbols of the resistance movement on their bodies. In the Peugeot program, the role of passing cars was played by small cars Model 202 and 100 aerodynamic sedans 402B with 63 horsepower. Engine and front independent suspension were purchased for high command staff. At the end of the 30s, the French armed forces officially had 2.3 thousand cars, to which numerous requisitioned cars were added. At the time of the surrender, paramilitary trucks produced until June 1940 before the bitter defeat at Dunkirk, the French paramilitary trucks were commercial vehicles of a fairly high technical and aesthetic level. Under the government rearmament program, which lasted only a year and a half, the adaptation of new vehicles to military service was limited to the installation of rare army superstructures, bodies with removable benches and toolboxes, and no armament, only spectacular camouflage painting. Peugeot DK5J, 1939–1941. In September 1939, on the basis of the Peugeot 402B sedan was created a military 1.2-ton pickup DK5J. With a 2-seat cab and flatbed body, 45 horsepower engine, 3-speed transmission, main worm gear and rear wheels with gable coupling. Until June 1941, it was planned to produce 14.5 thousand vehicles. Citroën T23 T45, 1939–1940. In the run-up to the occupation, Citroën began production of a 1.5-ton army truck T23 with an engine boosted to 48 horsepower, unified with the commercial version 23U. Its differences were a 4-speed gearbox, traditional underbody boxes and a spare tank for 50 litres of gasoline. Until May 1940, 14.3 thousand of these trucks were assembled. The main army trucks of Citroën brand were 3.5-ton trucks T45 with a 6-cylinder overhead valve engine with a displacement of 4.6 litres and an output of 73 horsepower, wooden flatbed bodies with an awning, side toolboxes, various superstructures, and a place for anti-aircraft weapons. WWII 10319381940. One of the extensive automotive program of the Delhi company was a 3.5-ton multi-purpose 60-horsepower truck WWII 103. Its features were friction shock absorbers in the front suspension and hydraulic drum wheel brakes. Until May 1940, 724 trucks were built for the Army. Matford F917WS, 1939–1940. In 1939, under the license of the American concern Ford Motors, the firm Matford assembled a 5-ton Army truck F917WS with a 72-horsepower V8 engine. Before the surrender of France at its new plant, it managed to assemble 1,000 vehicles, but on June 30, 1940, the German administration disbanded Matford, transferring all the equipment to the official French branch of Ford, which established close ties with the German branch. Renault ADR AGK, 1933–1940. In the 30s, one of the oldest companies in the world, Renault, developed a whole range of commercial trucks, which were offered to the armed forces of the country. The first range included paramilitary bonneted general-purpose trucks with payload of 1.5 to 5.0 tons. In 1937, the second range consisted mainly of cab-over trucks with payload of 5-5 tons and their special versions, equipped with gasoline and diesel engines of 60 to 80 horsepower, high-sided bodies with awnings, toolboxes, and special signaling devices. Rochet-Schneider 420VS, 1936–1941. The only military product of the Rochet-Schneider company was a 70-horsepower 5-ton truck 420 VLES with an extended wheelbase, which allowed to mount bodies up to 7.2 meters long, tanks, military workshops and guns of caliber up to 155 millimeters with a set of ammunition. Until 1940, it received orders for almost 100 vehicles, but did not have time to fulfill them. Panhardlewasser K113, 1939 to 1940. In the late 30s, the legendary Panhardlewasser Company produced 5-ton paramilitary trucks K113 for service in the desert regions of Africa. They were equipped with a silent 4-cylinder valveless engine with an output of 105 horsepower with spool gas distribution, a radiator, with a larger capacity and an angular cabin. Only 44 copies were made. Belayet GDR, 1938 to 1940. In the late 30s, the Lyon company Beaulieu began production of a family of heavy bonneted trucks GDR, which included several paramilitary versions. The most common were 5.5-ton version GDR7 with 85 horsepower diesel engine and Army 5-ton truck GDRA with 70 horsepower gasoline engine. Until June 40, they were assembled 1,500, and during the war times the officially neutral company managed to build another 24,000 vehicles, which were shipped to the Wehrmacht. Under the wing of the occupiers until now, the situation with the supply of French army vehicles to Nazi Germany remains vague, because all sides of the conflicts have long turned into allies. It is only known that during the occupation the parent corporations Renault, Peugeot, and Citroën sent to all kinds of German armed forces and their satellites more than 60,000 of their cars. In the second half of the 40s, Citroën Company introduced in its program extended versions T23L and T23R with hydraulic brakes, but the serial version T45 remained unchanged. During the war, Citroën made 35,000 trucks of all types, 6,000 of which were of the T23 series. At the same time, the production of trucks and special vehicles according to German requirements was organized in France. Citroën TMH, 1940 to 1941. The compact 41 horsepower ambulance TMH by Citroën on the front-wheel drive chassis of the delivery van. TUB, adopted by the French Army, served for transportation of 6 to 9 wounded. From February to May 1940, 453 cars were produced, and the next 200 cars were assembled with the permission of the occupation authorities. Peugeot DMA, 1941 to 1944. The development of the DK5J pickup truck was a cab-over 1.5-ton van DMA with the same 45 horsepower engine, new 4-speed gearbox and shorter base. Its production fell on the surrender of France, so most of the 15,000 vehicles, assembled until September 1944, went to Germany. Ford France F997 WS, 1941 to 1944. The loyal supplier of Wehrmacht was Ford France, which constantly updated its trucks and often changed the place of their production. Its main product was cab-over 5-ton truck F997 WS with a V8 engine with a working volume of 3.9 litres and an output of 95 to 100 horsepower. During the occupation, it assembled 6,000 of these cars. Renault AH family, 1939 to 1947. In December 1939, Renault Corporation tested prototypes of the new unified AH family, and a year later began production of 3 types of Army trucks with flat sloping front cab and flatbed bodies with awnings. The 2-ton truck AHS was equipped with a 4-cylinder engine with an output of 50 horsepower, 4-speed gearbox, classic leaf spring suspension and hydraulic brakes. The AHN medium-duty truck with a payload of 3.5 tons and a 6-cylinder 75 horsepower power unit was the basis for a small trial batch of AHNH gas generator vehicles. The heavy long wheelbase 5-ton truck AHR, unified with the AHN model, received a 6-speed transmission, mechanical brakes with booster and 300 mm longer wheelbase. In total, about 29,000 copies of the AH family were assembled. They were delivered to the Wehrmacht units and satellite countries, fought on the eastern and western fronts, served in the SS troops, and in the German Air Force. In the 40s, the main factory of Renault was half destroyed by bombing by Anglo-American aviation, and in January 1945 turned into a state enterprise. The title photo shows a paramilitary 42 horsepower Citroën 23R truck of 1941 in an improvised German military camp. Only authentic black and white illustrations are used in the article. Full-color photographs were taken by the author. In conclusion, the exploration of peaceful occupation during World War II reveals a fascinating chapter in automotive history, particularly with the emergence of lesser-known French cars. These vehicles, often overshadowed by their more famous counterparts, played a significant role in the daily lives of civilians and contributed to the resilience of the French spirit during a tumultuous time. By understanding their design, purpose, and the stories behind them, we gain a deeper appreciation for the ingenuity and adaptability of the French people. As we reflect on this period, let us remember that even in the face of adversity, creativity and innovation can thrive, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to inspire us today. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history.